The Maine Organic Farmers and Gardeners Association is warning local farms that federal immigration officers may be planning raids in the state starting tomorrow. In a letter sent to members today, the association warned that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, is expected to target farms, agricultural employees, and construction sites. The group says the enforcement could begin Friday and run through early next week. The association is urging farmers and staff to know their rights and say that under federal law, immigration officers must have a signed judicial warrant or consent to search or detain individuals inside buildings, although they are allowed to enter open fields. The warning also notes that reports of ICE agents using drones to monitor job sites. We have reached out to ICE for comment, but have not yet received a response. If you are a local farmer, the association is advising you to have emergency contacts ready for all staff members and to report any drone sightings to the ICE Watch hotline.